Hello class, in this video we'll create a level of details for your model that will allow your game to run smoother and faster. And here let's go to Maya, File, and Project Window. And here you can click on New to create a new project folder. So here I'm going to name it Level of Detail. Okay. And here you can set a location where you're going to create a project folder. So here just accept. And also I'm going to save the scene as Level of Detail Step 1. And here let's go to Create Polygon and let's create a sphere. So when our player is very close to this object, I want you to show this sphere. So you can scale it up a little bit. And you can go to Window, Outliner. So it's going to bring you to this window. So we're going to rename this sphere to Model underscore level of detail 0. So this is the 0 level. When the player is getting really close, we're going to show this model. And then go to create and polygon, and let's just do a cylinder, and we'll make it bigger, something like this. Okay. And when our player get a little bit far away from this sphere, you're going to show the cylinder. So you're going to name it to level detail 1. Okay. And then let's create a cube and also make this cube bigger like this. And our character is really far away from the object, we're going to show this cube. So you're going to be 2. So rename your objects in this way. So the level of detail 0, 1, 2. So this name convention matters. It doesn't matter what you put in front of it. Alright, and then let's go to File and Export All. And here format, let's choose FBX. And we can check on animation even though we don't have any animation. So here I'm going to say level of detail step 1. Okay, export. Then go to Blackboard, lesson 24, and download the project folder for Unity. And then uncompress this file, and we can rename this Unity project folder to something like level of detail Unity. Alright, and go to this folder, go to Assets and Scenes, and double click to open the sample scene. It should show up in the Unity Hub window. If not, just go back and double click it again to refresh. Now let's go to Game Object and 3D Object, and let's create a plane. And for this plane, I'm going to do 10 for X, Y, Z, so we have a plane for the player to walk. And for position, we can just 0 it out. And then let's go to the standard assets folder, character folder, and first person controller prefab. So we're going to bring in the first person controller into the scene, and press F key to focus your view on it and make sure it is above the ground so the character will not fall through. Okay, so now let's go back to the assets folder and let's create a new folder, and we'll name it to models. And in the models folder, let's drop in the FBX file we just created. So if you go to your Maya project folder, scenes, so this was the FBX file we have exported, and just drop it in here. And then if I bring it into the scene and make it a little bit bigger, maybe a little bit far away from the character. So now as you can see, it is showing the level of detail 1, right? And if I get closer to it, you can see that it's showing the sphere, and you can also see here the level of detail group. So now as our camera is really close to the object, so we are in this range, so it is showing the sphere, which is the level of detail 0 level. And if I zoom out, so now it is showing the level of detail 1, which is here. And if I get a little bit more far away from it, you're going to show the level detail 2, which is the cube. And if you get really far, reach to here, you're going to turn it off, right? So now it is turned off. We can see that. Okay, so that is the concept of level detail. You can also test run the game. Hold on. So here I'm going to turn off the main camera because our first person controller has a camera. So now let's test a play. Now you can see that if I run far away from the cube, now it's showing a cube, get closer, closer. Okay, so that is the concept, and now we can go back to Maya and we can work on more complex model. Here, let's go to File and create a new scene, and then I'm going to save the scene as Level Detail Step 2. Then let's go to the assets I provided. So first, let's start with the star fruit. So I'm going to copy the texture and the model, and go to the Maya project folder and go to the source image folder and paste the texture with the FBX file. And then I can bring in the fruit into the scene. So as you can see, we get a lot of details, right? And also if you go to the UV editor, you can see the UV is unfolded. Now let's rename this one as star fruit level of detail 0. Okay, so this will be the base mesh. And then I'm going to make a duplication first time, second time, right? And then I'm going to hide the first one and the second duplication. So I'm going to go to display, hide selection. Alright, so this will be the first level. So we're going to reduce the mesh, the subdivision a little bit. So here I'm going to go to mesh and I'll go to reduce. Here go to the setting. So here's the percentage you can apply to reduce the mesh. Instead of 50, I would like to do 60. And also before you move forward, scroll down. So make sure all of these are checked because our model already have texture, right? We have unfolded UV, so you don't want it destroy the UV while you reduce the mesh. So keep all of them checked on. So now let's see if I apply. Now you can see that we reduced some mesh and the UV still keep its shape, right? And then here we can now do 30, so we'll apply it the second time. Okay, so if I close and if I take a look at the shape, it is still keep the shape. Great. And then we can just hide this one and select the other one, the second level. Go to display and show the selection. So for this one, we're going to also go to mesh and reduce, but this time we're going to increase it to about 70 and apply. So as you can see, we get rid of some wireframes and the UV still keep the shape. And now let's try 50 again, apply, and one more time. So we want it to be really low polygon. Alright, so it looks good, and also the UV looks good. Then we'll go to Windows, Render Editor, Hypershade. So here we're going to create material for the fruit. So go to Material, create a number material. And I'll see star fruit M for material. And for the counter channel, we're going to load a texture file. So select the image and we'll select the texture image and open. And then I'm going to select all these 3 models. So 2 hidden, 1 is showing up. Select all 3 and right click on the material you just created and assign and put 6 key to display the textures. And then I can show the other 2. And I can put them to different sides so you can compare the differences. Well, even though they have different subdivision levels, but you cannot really tell the differences, which is great. So this is what we want. As our player get further to the fruit, you're going to show the first level. As the player get closer to it, you're going to show the first level, which has a lot of detail. And get further, you're going to show the second one. But it still look the same. It just reduce the mesh. Okay, so I'll pull them back by hit Command Z. Okay, and then I'm gonna select all these 3 and go to Modify, Freeze Transformation, and add it and delete its history, so it doesn't have any history file. And also make sure in your scene you only has these models. You don't have lights or any other objects. Okay, so as you get this ready, you can go to File and Export All, and you can export like star fruit level of detail. Okay, then I will also copy the texture file to here and select the level of detail, star fruit, and the texture, and I'm gonna group them in a folder, and I'll rename the folder as star fruit level of detail. And let's go back to Unity and models folder, and let's drop in the star fruit model we just created. And then here, as you can see, it already assigned the texture because we have created the material in Maya. And here I can make it bigger, something like this. And now you can see that it's displaying the level 0, and as I zoom out, first level, second level, you can't really notice the difference because we are keeping the shape and also the texture border. Now if I test play and walk closer and walk further, you can't really notice the difference on the star fruit if there's any changes. However, the mesh is different when I'm far away from it, so it will make your game run smoother and faster, because if you are far away from your object, you're going to just display the no polygon version of the model. For the assignment, I want you to work on this sphere object and the star fruit, and also work on this pumpkin object to show me the level of detail. So I want you to test play and screen record your game to show me the level of detail you created. And also you are welcome to use your own model for this demonstration if you wish.